And for more, we now move to Mark Sommers in our newsroom. Mark.
Thank you very much, Henny. Yes, we are now joined by the managing editor of Al-Ahram, who is Mohammed Az-Al-Din, joining us from Cairo. Thank you very much for being here with us on Q News. So how do you view this Israeli military operation in the West Bank?
Thank you for having me here. Q News, of course, it is a full-on operation through which the occupation forces goal was to stall phase two, or to stall reaching a two-state solution. This has started a couple of months ago, and then in the last hours the Knesset actually passed a resolution that allows the occupation army to settle in the West Bank, and so this means that the occupation administration want to divide up the West Bank and its cities, and to take military control of the West Bank, and then also to have administrative control to broaden their settlement in the West Bank. And so these here go against the international law, and the occupation administration has to stop these violations and to stop violating and not honoring the international laws as an occupying force in the West Bank. And so this military operation, and justifying it, is saying that it is to counter terrorism. But actually, these operations target the civilians in the West Bank, and they displace them. We've seen today the UNRWA talking about more than 32,000 Palestinians being displaced from their homes in the West Bank. And so this means that the displacement project that failed in Gaza is being attempted again in the West Bank by taking over the West Bank land. And so this is very unfortunate and a violation of the international laws.
Well, indeed. And how could Netanyahu do this despite the US opposition to it? How could Netanyahu do this? I believe you're not hearing me quite well. How can Netanyahu do this, the annexation of the West Bank, even though there is strong opposition from Washington?
There are international efforts that aim to lessen all the effect of this, and they condemn all these violations and aggressions, and the international community and the US administration, they all need to know, as you know, the US brokered the peace plan, and they need to see Israel for what it really is, and that they are manipulating the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement and also Trump's peace plan. And so what's happening in the West Bank is an Israeli attempt to just not honor and stall things from going towards phase 2 of the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement. And so what's happening, it is a settlement operation and displacing the Palestinians in the West Bank, even though there is no need for that on the security level. And even if they have some security threats, they need to face this lawfully. And so what's happening is a phase of forced displacement in the West Bank, and they're taking control by destroying buildings and homes and not allowing Palestinians and civilians back to their homes. And so this wasn't just in Taubas today. It will actually keep going on to the rest of the cities and the West Bank to isolate them on a military track and administrative track, and to take control of them, to prevent a two-state solution and to divide up the Palestinian state and not have contact throughout Palestine. And so what's happening here is a siege, and it is a displacement of the Palestinians, and the international community, the Security Council as well, they need to take action to stop these Israeli aggressions and to stop them from doing the same thing that happened in Gaza in the West Bank.
Mohammed Azaldin, you mentioned there the second phase of the agreement. Any military operation in the West Bank is going to hold back the implementation, is it not?
In an indirect way, Israel is trying to stall phase two. Even though there were some positive news from the mediators and the U.S. administration in the Civil Military Coordination Council, that they are actually gathering the countries and deciding on who will take control of the peacekeeping forces, and that Hamas will be disarmed by the end of next April. But still Israel isn't satisfied with this, and they're also hindering aid delivery, and they've closed the Rafah crossing from the Palestinian side and allow aid delivery from the Egyptian side of the Rafah crossing only through Al-Ahram, Karim Abu Salim. And so also Israel wants to deliver the heavy equipment itself and to take control of everything that has to do with aid delivery and relief in the occupied Palestinian land. And also there are attempts to not allow some of the forces to enter the region, and for the stabilization forces to actually coordinate and work with the Israeli occupation army. And so Israel hasn't talked clearly about stalling phase two, but they're sending these subtle pretext that there are still two bodies of Israeli deities under the rubble. And so this means that even though the agreement was fully implemented and the Palestinian resistance actually are committed to the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement, but
Thank
the
you very
Israeli
much
occupation...
Indeed. That is Mohammed Azaldin, Managing Editor of Al-Ahram. Thank you very much for joining us here on Qnews.